When I opened my TikTok page this morning, I saw this question. She was asking if she could work in Russia using a tourist visa. And I've already talked about tourist visas in the past, but just for the sake of new audience, let me kind of, explain again. But before I do, let me tell you this. Yesterday I was on Instagram. I saw a post by a Tajikistan national. He explained why he left Russia for Germany, and somebody made an interesting comment under that post. I went back under that post again, checked my watch history. I couldn't find that post. I don't know why. I couldn't find the comment. So he said he lived in Russia for 10 years, and 8 years out of 10 he was illegal. He was working anyway. So he finally found out he could apply for a Russian passport because he had kids. Apparently, maybe he got married to a Russian, I don't know. Then he applied for a Russian passport, but the Russian government collected back the passport. And the reason why the passport was collected was he refused to sign a military contract. Since November 5th last year, the Russian government made it mandatory for foreign nationals applying for permanent residency and Russian citizenship to sign a 1-year mandatory contract. So which means if you apply for a Russian passport or temporary or permanent residency, you must sign 1-year military contract. But I won't emphasize on this, but it does not apply to everybody. You get people who go out, you get people who fall into this category, not all. And you should also know that the tourist visa is not extendable. You can't extend it. If you come with a 3-month visa, that's a 3 month. If you come with a 1-month visa, it's 1 month. You can't extend a tourist visa in Russia. It's not possible. And for you who plan to travel on a tourist visa to any country, I personally don't blame you. I saw a video yesterday about this thing happening in Nigeria. Headsmen carry cutlass like this, come up in head. If you're on my WhatsApp, I post off my status. Somebody posted it and I will just reshared it. Come up cutlass, cut the person neck. I don't need to tell you this. I don't even need to show you. You see this. So if somebody want to travel with tourist visa, I actually don't blame them because of what's happening in Nigeria. And based on the work aspect, I'll put a short clip. You just watch by yourself. If you see people that are working anyway, so you decide for yourself if they work or they don't work. I don't want to say anything. Just use your eye, watch them by yourself, then decide if they are working or they are not working.
Ваша регистрация есть? Пойдемте с нами. Конечно. Да, пойдем.
As you can see by yourself, police actually came there to raid. Yes, it actually happens, and it happens if you're on a tourist visa or you don't have a visa. Police will actually come there. This was a supermarket where people actually work, and employers, to be honest, prefer people who doesn't actually have document because the salary they will pay is actually low. If you have document, for example, I could charge them. For example, I could charge them maybe 50,000 per month. Based on you don't have a document, they could tell you 30,000 and they will take you because we're still going to offer the same services. You understand? But one charge more, the other doesn't charge more because I have documents. I have to charge based on what I have. But you that doesn't have documents, you have to charge because you don't have any option. Any day you wake up in Russia, you just live a life of uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen. You could leave your house and you could never come back. Not as in, they buy you or something, but AKF catch you and you could be in detention. You just call, hey, friend, don't carry me or all those kind of things. So these are just like, it's just kind of risk. But can you work in Russia? The answer is 100%. It's not because you have a tourist visa, no, but because you live in Russia. Of course, you live in Russia, you need to find something to do. So that's why you have to work. Not because you have a tourist visa. Even I have a friend in Russia now who have lived in Russia for like 15 years or thereabouts. He lives here without document and he still lives here till today. In fact, there's a way If you live in Russia, if you live abroad for a long time, you won't even be scared of the police anymore. But one thing about raid is, if the police raid, just like in this video I just showed you, they won't let you go. But if I just say police, they do their normal catching, that one they feel let you go. But raiding is always different. So before you travel, before you make that plan to travel abroad using a short stay visa, this one will be only for Russia here. It happens everywhere. It happens everywhere. Raiding they happen because they know that illegal immigrants, no, they won't go back, or immigrants, some of the immigrants with short stay visa won't actually have to go back. We don't want to go back, I mean. So they go raid once in a while to catch people. So before you travel with short stay visa, make you decide, make you know, say yes, these things now something you put for plan. And again, if you travel with a short stay visa, there's something I want to say, but I just didn't want to talk. Because if I talk and I go hype your morale. But in summary, just find a Russian spouse. Maybe if you be a woman, you find your opposite gender. If you be a man, you find a woman. So that's one of the ways to you survive for a year. But can you work in Russia without papers? Yes, 100%. There are a lot of people here. There are a lot of people who don't get paper. Lots. So, but all of them still there for here now, and they are still kind of managing, surviving life, hoping say God go do am. Like the person who I tell you about that wrote the comments, he said he lived there for 8 years without paper. Although the laws are kind of changing, it's kind of getting stricter, compare now with 8 years ago anyway. But it is very much possible. As long as you find work now, because nobody will find work for you. Now you go and find work by yourself. Well, that's it on this video.